Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Tattoo Pedge. Pedge Tattoos. Get it mixed up. But I want to give a shout out to everyone that's been supporting me through my time on YouTube. Just hit a major milestone, 9,000 subscribers. So I wanted to come on here real quick and show my appreciation for you guys. I really appreciate you. And it's only up from here. I'm going to give a couple shout outs and then we'll get into it. Gray Jedi, what's going on? Let's go, Staxx. Pink Panther, how are you? Shout out to everyone that takes the time to watch this show. This is a really good one. This is one of the last installments of Pedge Tattoos. Pedge Tattoos in the building. So I'm not going to keep you guys long. I just wanted to come on here and tell you thank you for supporting me. A lot of great things in the works. I have some major interviews lined up, and I have a bunch that I'm going to be dropping. Yeah, 9,006, and it keeps rising every second I look at it. every time I look at it again, it's more and more. It's crazy. It's growing at a pretty fast pace. 9,009. So before you know it, it'll be 10,000. And then the next goal is 50,000. And we'll just keep growing. I know I'm going to hit 100,000 eventually, 1,000,000. But, I mean, that's great and everything. But I got bigger goals than that. I'm working on a lot of different things behind the scenes that people aren't aware of. And no one can stop this train. You got that right. They want to. It's all good. Keep trying because it's going to take a lot to stop this. But anyway, I'm not going to keep you guys. Let's get into the content. See you guys after. To this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Tattoo Pedge.
I seen him. It wasn't anything special. It wasn't, you hear about this, and then when you see this person, it's a different persona. I saw a regular dude just earning his, trying to make his earning, doing what he's got to do.
Yeah.
And I get introduced to him. He goes, "This is the guy I told you about. He's a friend of mine." He goes, "You're the guy that took over Mood Lounge." I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Man," he goes, "I've never seen that place do better." He goes, "What's his name tells me this, and this, And I'm leaving his name out because he's a legit guy today. He doesn't do anything. He's got legit businesses. He's even doing movie producing, this guy, So I'm not going to mention him. I don't want to ruin anything for him. And I talked to Joe 3-4 minutes, and he was like, "Hey, enjoy yourself. The food's going to come out. I'm going to come and sit and eat with you guys." We're talking a little shop back and forth. Yeah, I'm asking, what can I ask? What can I talk? Because I don't know. Then he was real gentleman. I didn't have many words to toss back and forth. I told a couple of jokes. He goes, "You're funny, good looking guy." That's why they call him Vinny Gorgeous, And comes that a building that Joe Messino owns 3 blocks from Casablanca. It's called Johnny's Cafe. He opens up a cafe. It's not doing well. He knows what I did because I just got rid of my spot. This was about a year and a half after I closed my place down, about 2001. So he sends for me, and I go and I meet him at Casablanca. He goes, "Let's take a walk. You got a car? Yeah, drive me down this way." We go to Johnny's Cafe. What do you think? Place is banging, marble everywhere, wood bar, beautiful, way too beautiful to make it a shithole bar, But he goes to me, "Hey, you think you could bring your people here and we could run something here and we could do something? I give you 50% of the action and we split the machines and all that." I said, "I really like to." I said, "But my people left a bad taste in my mouth." He goes, "Come on, reconsider. You can make some good coin here, this and that. You could run whatever you want. I'll give you the okay. I'm the boss," like joking, like, who's going to say no to me? I said, I have to reject the offer. "I'm really sorry." I said, "It's not something I could do." I go, "I hate these people." I said, "I need a little time away." He goes, "Well, I got this other guy. What do you know about him?" I said, "He's a wannabe." I said, straight up, he thinks he's a gangster. He's not. I go, when the time is going to come, you're going to see he's going to fold. So this guy, he lets him open up. He goes, "All right, Pedge." He goes, "But I just need you to do me a favor. When you do come in here, anybody gets out of line, you know everybody." "All right, yeah, I'll straighten them out." I went there. The place was booming. I gave him my connection for music. I said, blessings, here, call these people up, do what you need to do. And of course, my people did it again. They started breaking stuff. They started getting into fist fights. There was a stabbing. Just way too much attention to a mob establishment.
Yeah.
So, place kind of shut down. I get offered again right before I think Joe Messino gets locked away. He goes, "You want to take it over?" He goes, "Just come on, make it, do an American joint, do an Italian, Irish, whatever." I said, I can't. Like I just, when you lose the taste for something. Well,
Yeah.
I just lost that taste. I just didn't want to see a bar. I didn't want to deal anymore. I had ideas, but I was just like, I need more. I just need more time to do something else. He gets pinched. They confiscate the building. They confiscate the bar. They confiscate everything. I think he only got to keep like 1 point something million in illicit gains and stuff. He had apartment buildings throughout the
What
whole
did you
area.
think when Messina flipped?
Honestly, shocked. I did not see that coming. I really didn't, because at the time, Frankie Ferlino, that was running with the Gianninis, and he worked in Giannini Cafe. He was the coffee guy. Supposedly, I don't know. He flipped on him. He flipped on Joe. It was in the papers that Frankie testified against him. What Frankie had on him, I don't know, because Frankie wasn't in that league. Frankie wasn't. He was an associate. He was making his bones, but they were throwing murder at him for that Serbian guy that he murdered. With somebody else, and the guy that was at that murder turned out to be an informant, Joe Galante. He was an informant. He was at the murder. He participated in the murder, and it was well known in the streets for years, like before they picked anybody up, that Joe Galante was in on it, Frankie was in on it, and 2 other people. And they came to my house, banging on my door when the body was down the block, by the warehouses. And, I just played dumb. I was like, I don't know. Well, this guy? Yeah, I've seen him around. They start showing me black and whites. Well, you're hugging him and kissing him. Where were you last night? It's like, what do you mean? Where was I last night? I was here and there and this and that. You weren't at that cafe? Yeah, I was at the cafe. Did you see him? Yeah, and he left. And I was still there. If you have the surveillance, it's like, what are you busting my balls for? Just look at look at the rest of the pictures. I go, honestly, I don't want to talk anymore. I'm lawyering up. So, Frankie ditched. Frankie went to the West Coast. I don't know what. We didn't know that Joe was ratting until way later, because he was giving so much information to the feds, man. He was feeding everybody. And then out of the Giannini crew, there was like 2 or 3 guys that I just found out are still active and were informing. One dude wore a wire to a induction ceremony in Canada. They made a banana guy out in Canada, and this guy went there, and the room was literally surveillance, FBI recording. They had the whole thing on tape, and I just found this out like a couple of months ago, and I was just like, what? Like, this is unreal how it unravels. Like, I understand, look, you get 12 guys. You guys ran around, you banged around, you did stuff together. You're facing 25 to life. You're going to turn because you can't do the time. Whatever. It's fine. I understand that. So I can understand the Gianninis all rolling on each other and flipping on each other. What I can't understand is, like, how do you continue to be on the payroll and continue to do that? Like, I don't get it. Joe Messina was very sick. Joe Messina was a hardball player. He was involved in that Donnie Brasco thing with Sonny Black and all of that.
3 capos, yeah.
Yeah. He was the one. Pop, pop, pop. Everybody knew that. In the street, it was known. But I don't know, man. He just turned. It was just, Frankie testified. There was a couple other people that testified. Then I think it was, I'm not great at mob lore, so I'm not one of those guys that can give you all of the details. I can't sit there and say I knew everybody, but I think Sal Vitale started to rat, because they were saying Joe wanted to whack Sal. That was his brother-in-law. So he wanted to whack him. But also, Sal was an ex-corrections officer. He should never have been underboss. That's like,
it's crazy. Like,
yeah,
he's part of law enforcement. How are you law enforcement and you're with them?
He was an ex-correctional officer, which he was probably the dirtiest ever. And he was, okay, so he was shady. But I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. In that life, like we were talking about that girlfriend thing, that life started to turn me off when I started seeing how these people were acting. You know, Frankie being one. Frankie was just like grabbing God by the balls because his brother was a made guy, and he was just doing like I don't know if you remember this, if you heard the story that I told about Frankie shooting the guy over a card game. Frankie shoots this guy in the chest. We were in a social club. This guy Charlie was there. He's running his mouth off during the game, and he's shuffling the cards a certain way. And Frankie just couldn't take it. Frankie said it's over a card, but it wasn't. It was over a minuscule thing, you know. And he goes, "Hey, if you don't shut your mouth, I'm gonna pop you. You know, I'm gonna shoot you." And Charlie's, "Wait, Mickey, why are you gonna shoot at me? What are we thinking?" Boom, 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 3 times, drops the gun on the table, walks out, white as a ghost, gone. We're like hovering, like, what's going on? We start running around, you know. This guy, not dead, gets up, big fat guy, gets up, goes, "You let him shoot at me, you let him shoot at me. What's the matter with you, fanculo?" You know, he's like screaming at us, cursing at us. We're like in amazement trying to hop in our cars to get out of here. Like, you know, so everybody's like getting in their cars, jumping in. And this guy walks across the street, gets in his Riviera, I think it was. He had a Riviera, gets in his Riviera, drives himself to the freaking hospital. 3 days later, is a fucking sit down. I mean, legit, man, like sit down. Like Frankie had to go. And then Frankie comes back. Dude, how do you pop somebody? And then his brother goes, "I'm going to take care of it. You're going to pay him X amount of dollars." You know, I never asked Frankie. I just heard like Frankie got off. Frankie got off. Frankie always got off because Frankie was trying to make his bones. He got lucky. His uncle, Cheech, was a banana, made guy. So he had Cheech and his cousin Phil. And it was, you know, when you're blessed, when you have that kind backing you up, God can't touch you. The Pope can come down and God is going to move the Pope out the way because you're under God's rule now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So not to quote a line from Pope of Greenwich Village, but not even the Pope can touch you. It's the truth. It's, you know, but so, I mean, you know, it's those stories. And then like, you know, they have this thing, the mob, you know, do as I say, don't do as I do. So a lot of these mob guys fuck other guys' girls and they bang them and whatever. It's just when you're going to find out about it. And when you find out, you can't do nothing. You got to order a sit down. But who the hell are you on the peon list to order a sit down? What you end up doing is you pull a John Gotti move. You think John Gotti was the first one to invent shoot the boss? Hell's no.
No.
They did that shit. Listen, those wars, the Colombo Wars and everything, everybody's a target. They come and they hit you.
Luciano invented
There you
that
go.
shit.
There you go.
If you like this interview, there's one more part left. It gets good, so you guys don't want to miss it. And there's more John Greshner coming tomorrow during the day. I'm playing it early because of the Super Bowl, so make sure you tune in. I'll tell you what time it is right now. So don't forget, if you want to see this whole interview right now without any interruptions, go join the membership and you'll be able to see the whole interview. Let me tell you what time the John Greshner is. It's tomorrow at 3 p.m. So 3 p.m., there's a new John Greshner interview dropping, and it gets good. This is part 5. There's another part coming. So if you guys like this content, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if you don't like this content, too fucking bad, start your own podcast. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you soon.